fries to go. Listen to what I said. I need something more than soup to keep me satisfied. Give me food, that's what I want. Bolognese all through the days. Can't wait to mayonnaise. Give me food, that's what I want. A chicken curry, bring it here in a hurry. It's food that I want.
That's plenty.
You caught me looking to make sure everything was working. So again, bit of issue last week with our sexy music, bagpipe pirate music, you can't beat it. So just give us a little shout in the comments below. Purely let's have a walk through the camera. So we've got overhead, that working?
Yep.
Yeah. Babish cam? Yeah, sue me Andrew.
Yeah.
And main camera with star of the show, Pirate King himself. Yep.
Yep.
Okie dokie, so on the main cam, Kales, good afternoon. How are we all enjoying another fantastic week of lockdown? So, for this fantastic week of lockdown, we are going to do, last week was fancy for a fiver, this week we're going to do something a bit simpler, but equally as delicious. We're going to do some carne asada, and we're going to do some vegetarian options today as well, so you're welcome. So carne asada is basically a marinade on a piece of beef. A lot of people, oh, that's not carne, that's not traditional, and I'm sure there'll be lots of Spanish people out there telling me, or Mexican people saying, oh no, that's not traditional. Carne asada basically means meat grill. It's winter, so we're going to be using the plancha today. This was a Christmas gift from my director here, so hopefully there will be no bleeping. So we're going to get that fired up, if for no other reason for a little bit of heat, because it's delightfully fresh. So what's the weather like with everybody today?
Karen pointed and said hello, and so did Leslie.
Hello Karen, hello Leslie, good to hear from you. How are you guys dealing with the apocalypse? So what we're going to start off with today, courtesy of our very good friends at Donald's the Butcher. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a chopping board out, which we got all washed down this morning. So we're going to start off, this is hanger steak. Now this, you don't have to use hanger steak, you can use skirt steak, you can use flat iron, use a bit of sirloin, bit of rump steak, whatever you want. I wanted to do this today because this is quite an unusual cut of meat. Every other cut of meat in a cow or a lamb or a pig, there's two parts of it. You get two sirloins, two fillets, two beef cheeks, 4 lunches. There's only one hanger steak. It kind of lives in the internal cavity, and for many years it was considered awful. Not awful, but as in awful. So it was kind of the butcher's best kept secret. So we kind of found out how delicious this was. I say we, the people years ago found out how delicious it was, and they started cooking it. It cooks two ways, either low and slow or nice fast heat, medium rare. You don't want to be cooking anywhere in between because it'll start getting a little bit tough. But there is a bit of housekeeping to do on this lump of beef. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes. If you're doing this at home, you don't want to get involved in this. Get yourself some flank steak, some flat iron steak, or even some sirloin or rump. So we're going to take a boning knife. Do you want to go overhead on this, Scales? So Kevin can show this to his butcher team down at Donald's and go, this is how not to butcher a hanger steak. So there is a sinew that runs down the middle of it there. You can see that on both sides. So what we're going to do is just put our knife on a bit of an angle and follow the line of that sinew, and you'll see it. I don't know how good the camera can pick that up, but as you sort of razor your way through that, you'll see that sinew, and you're just steering the other side of it, and then we'll take off basically the first side of a hanger steak, and then on the second part we'll maybe put that over there for the time being. I'll try and do this back to front so you can get a better angle on it. The sinew's in there, so I'll take it from the top this time. Just cut along. You can see a really good shot of it there, Kaylee, can you get that? That won't cook too well. It'll be quite chewy as far as mouthfeel goes, giggly. So again, little cuts until you don't see it anymore, and then drag your knife across it, and out it comes. And again, any sort of butchery at home, that's the way to do it. Little cuts so you can correct. If you want more confident you get, you start doing it in big long slices, but we don't want to do that. We also want to trim off some of this excess fat. Now, what's a good thing, if you're doing some butchery at home and you're trimming up lots of different meats, keep a couple of bags in your freezer, some with fat, some with little bits of meat that are, you can go back to that tendon piece and just trim that out, and that makes good stew and good burgers. So quite happy with that. I see a lovely piece of meat. Don't want to get rid of all that fat, but just the bits that are going to be a bit gristly and a bit chewy. And if you feel the fat, you can feel the fat, and it feels hard. Okay, great. Just take it out, because it isn't going to give you a good eating experience. Quite happy with that little bit. Use that for something else. Again, we want to cook it. We want everything to cook at the same rate. So with any knobbly bits, a bit sticking out, just flatten them out. So, as I said earlier, today's recipe is Carne Asada. It's basically a fresh, herby marinade. So on our steak, what we're just going to do is put some slashes on the skin so that marinade gets in a little bit quicker. Still on the overhead?
Yeah.
Gets in a little bit quicker. Okay, so do you want to go to the barbish cam just to have a look at this meat before we tidy it up? Okay, so we have, see how we put maybe some scars in our meat there? Put light scars on the other side. Okay, everybody happy? Any comments, questions on the preparing of the meat?
No, not on the meat. There's a couple of comments though.
Okay, what's the comments?
So Mike Connell said afternoon chef.
Afternoon, Mikey boy.
Karen said it's freezing where she is, and so did Louise.
Yeah, no, it is quite.
Leslie said she's
fresh.
shielding again with lots of exclamation marks. I don't think she's too happy about that. Sylvia said good afternoon all.
Mother of Cornels.
Louise said got the link to purchase the hoodie, we'll be buying later. And
right.
Leslie said, have you got a cold or a chest infection? Peter, you're sounding a bit chesty.
No, this is just my deep manly voice. I don't have a cold, but I had the start of a cold at the beginning of the week, and it was a cold. I have been outside since probably about 9 o'clock this morning, so I am just a bit frozen. So this is a sacrifice we make. Right, I can't open this because I've gloves on. So what we're going to start doing now is creating our carne asada, or marinade. See, this meat doesn't take long to cook, so we want it soaking in this delightful. You can't get that bag open either, can you?
Oh, wait, there we go.
There we go. We have a bag. So to avoid dishes and tidy it up, keeping this nice and simple, making it valuable for midweek, get yourself a nice strong Ziploc bag, put your sums in it, flick it round so it keeps all the things you're going to put in it off the rim of the bag. Pop that down. So for our quick carne asada, and I know this is not everybody's carne asada recipe, it's Pirate King recipe. If you want to find out how to make it properly, I'm sure there's lots of videos out there. But why bother? This is delicious. So to this, we are going to add about 75 ml of orange juice. So that's some citrus, which will help break down some of the fibres in the meat and also give it a lovely flavour. We're also going to add about 50 ml of lemon juice, again lots of citrus. We are going to take the tip, maybe half a chilli, very little in the way of seeds. If you don't want the heat of the seeds, these are just red jalapenos. You can just flip that over, take out the white bit, and again, can you see that all right from above? Yeah? Yep. Cool. Put them into matchsticks but not cutting all the way down. And then a nice fine dice. So we take all of our chilli, put it in the bag. Keep all half a chilli for later. We're then going to take some garlic, nice big fat clove of garlic. Get that right on there. We'll take our big beasting knife. On top of the garlic, make sure it's nice and level. Palm of your hand, make sure your fingers are kind of pointing up. And give it a good splat. So that should let you take the papery skin off it. Another splat. And again, roughly, the smaller you chop garlic, the more pungent the garlic will be, or the stronger the garlic will be. So in this marinade, we want it to kick as much flavour into this beef in as short a period of time as possible. Now, I said today I was going to do a vegetarian alternative. For the purposes of cooking, I'll be cooking all on the same grill. Obviously, vegetarians at home, don't feel you have to buy the beef and then cook your halloumi beside it. Just cook it in your own pan, but again, for the purposes of today, we're just doing that. So we've got our garlic, our chilli, orange, lemon. We're going to pop in about 50 ml of olive oil, a little bit of smoked paprika, probably about a teaspoon, and some soy sauce.
Straight back.
No, I think I'm out. Try some soy sauce for the kitchen. So, and about 100 ml of soy sauce. So while we're waiting for the soy sauce coming, we're going to take a handful of coriander, roll it up into a cigar. Still getting this on the overhead.
Yep.
And we'll take our knife, again nice fine chop. Again, we're just breaking it down, getting the aromats out of there and into our bag. Okay. The last thing I'm going to add in there is about 100ml of soy sauce. Okay. We're going to give that a good mix around in our bag. What I'm going to do is grab a clean dish. Probably going to take about two tablespoons out, and that'll be for our vegetarian option. Okay. So the purposes of today, we're going to take this lovely piece of steak, we'll cut it in half, take the other one, cut it in half, and we'll take these 4 pieces. Again, this is a great recipe for the barbecue in the summer when you can have none of your friends over. And again,
sorry to interrupt you. We have a text scammer on the comments,
saying?
so everybody just ignore it.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We don't have any control over that, but I'm sure we can get rid of them.
Yes.
So, yeah, on the barbecue, fantastic. Great cooked over coals. Obviously not an option today because it's freezing. So again, what we're going to do is just squish that down, get as much air out of that bag as possible, seal the bag up, and just mix everything together, which is fantastic. Okay, so we'll wrap that up, put it to the side, we'll drink the water. So apart from the text scammer, any comments?
So Scott Curry said Happy New Year. Karen Poynton said
Happy New Year, Scott Curry.
Brave man. Leslie Little said we run today, we'll sort you out. Karen asked where the your Ziploc bags are from.
That's eBay. Those are basically those are dual purpose ones. I can use them in my sous vide machine. But you know, any heavy duty Ziploc bag will do you fine.
Tommy said afternoon Pirate Clan, hope you're all doing well. Karen said blocked. And Sharon said, hey folks, sorry we're late, babysitting duties.
No problem at all. Right. So, while we're doing that, for our vegetarian things, I've got some plain halloumi. I got this out of Lidl. Absolutely, definitely Lidl.
Aldi.
No, one bottle.
Lidl.
Lidl. I said Lidl. I was right. I just can't get the staff today. This is just plain. There are herby versions, there are chili versions. Use your personal preference. So we're just going to. It's not exactly butchery, but we're just going to slit open the bag. It is a little bit wet and juicy. I'm not saying it, but you are in your head. So I just need to open up a little bit more. Why do they make halloumi bags so tough? Right, okay, so we have a halloumi
And the spillage.
and some halloumi juice. Yeah, there's probably somebody out there selling that as halloumi milk. Yeah, it's another thing that grinds my shite. Right, if it doesn't have a nipple, it's not milk. I appreciate people who have soy milk, oat milk, all that kind of stuff. It's not milk, it's juice. Not milk. Soybeans do not have teats, therefore you cannot express milk. Move on. So, we're going to take our halloumi. Purpose of this, we're going to take off 3 nice slices. Put that back on our veggie tray. We're going to put this into our marinade. Make sure we get a nice bit of coverage on it. We still on overhead?
Yep.
Fantastic. So what's everybody's preference? The overhead or the babish? Do you want to go to the babish and see if it's bringing anything new to the party? So Asad's got a bit of a marinade or a carne asada mix on our let's call it halloumi, yeah, because that's what it is, which is great. So the other thing we're going to do today is corn ribs. Corn ribs, you say? If soya can't have teats, then corn doesn't have ribs. You got me? So we're going to do a vegetarian equivalent of ribs, or of the alternative to ribs. Again, this is pre-cooked corn, whole corn. You can do this with fresh corn. Just blanch it in boiling water for 5 minutes, and that'll get you to where we are at the moment. Take a knife. I think I'm going to take my bigger knife. Quick rinse, and we are just going to find an edge, tap it in. Now this is a round bottomed fruit, vegetable, aardvark, whatever it is. Get it into gently but firmly, rock it through. I didn't say it was easy. Try a different thing here. If you're having some difficulty getting your knife through, tip for you, put your knife halfway in, get yourself something heavy, like a rolling pin, a claw hammer. And again, your hands are well out of the way here.
Okay.
Half your corn. Same thing again. Rolling pin and your knife. I know this isn't a rolling pin, but I don't bake. So get your knife in. It'll go in maybe about 3, 4, 5 mil, and take your hard object, rolling pin, meat mallet,
Just
I haven't actually hammered it.
this is talking.
There we go. Easy as. Fantastic knife. Don't you wish you could buy one? Okay, so we have our ribs. I will not be doing the other one because that's a faff. Take your time. If you cut them on the raw, it's actually easier. So we've got our 4/4 of our corn. We are going to put them in a bowl. So to that bowl, we are going to add about 100 ml of olive oil. Smoked paprika, about 2 teaspoons. Garlic granules, probably teaspoon and a half. Chili powder, probably about a teaspoon. This is mild chili powder, we don't want to be blowing anybody's pants off. Every week I have my ongoing fight with the honey. This is this week's instalment. So you're laughing. I'm going to get you to do this next week.
Facial shots there.
Yeah. So about a tablespoon of honey. Fantastic. And the juice of half a lime. So once we get that in there, give it a quick mix just to get everybody to know each other. We're going to throw in our riblets, or corn riblets, or whatever we want to call them. And again, we're just going to move those about the bowl, make sure everybody gets a good coating. Are we on the overhead cam?
Yes.
So you can see on the overhead cam, I basically put all the corn niblets facing down, so it's going to just sit in that marinade. We'll come back to those in about 5 minutes. Okay, any questions, comments, anything we want to talk about this week? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing?
Sharon said it's Tonga bass. Yeah.
Tonga bass, yes, and about it. Right, cheers. So, water. Trying to be healthy in the new year, haven't had a new year drink yet. Kaylee, have you had a drink this year?
No.
No? Moving on to Tracy. How are we doing over there, Tracy, on dry January? How's that doing? No. Okay.
No. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So let's go. We're going to do a couple of sides with our what's that we're doing? A Carne Asada. There we go. So we're going to do some. We're going to do a salsa, a quick salsa. Some lovely fresh tomatoes from the fresh fruit shop in Uddingston, which is about 4 doors down from Don's Butchers, on the way to Aldi. There's my shopping circle for you. So we're going to take a couple of 3 of those tomatoes, big white onion. We're going to get our grill nice and hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a char on these. We're going to take our chilli as well. What's left of our chilli that we used earlier. And we'll get a bit of a char on that. We have some coriander. And a couple of cloves of garlic. Okay. So that's getting nice and hot. So what we're going to do with our tomatoes is we're just going to quarter them. Lovely fresh tomatoes. I had a really good conversation with the greengrocer. Yeah, that's what vegetable people are. These are a brand of tomatoes, apparently a very thin skin. They've been bred especially for doing salads and salsas. So traditional salsa, you would cross them, blanch them in water, peel the skin off, ice bath. Nah, ain't nobody got time for that. So we're going to do this skin on. In a little bowl here, we're going to go in with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, the rest of our lime juice, a good belt of black pepper, can't seem to find it. Karen, do you have any kosher salt I could borrow? I know you have kosher salt in your house, Karen, because you're a big fan of it, but I can't seem to find any in my house. So if you want to just pop up with some kosher salt, that would be great. Oh, that was quick. Thanks, Karen. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Karen Cleland is a big fan of the show, big supporter of the channel. She's all about the kosher salt life, so thanks for that, Cam. So we're just going to take our onion, cut off the top end, kept the root on. So in our little veggie cooking juice there, salt, pepper, oil, a little bit of lime. Again, it's all the same flavours, guys. You know, you don't need to be buying big ingredients list. Everything works together. So we don't want a lot of oil on this onion. I say we just want a little bit of char. Put that one there. Fantastic sizzle. We put our tomatoes into our seasoned oil and just move them about in it. Again, we don't want them soaking in oil, we just want enough to get a bit of a char on. So for those of you who are not familiar with what a char is, essentially going to try and burn these a little bit. For those, that flavour will be transmitted into our salsa. We've still got a little bit of oil in there, our chilli goes in, smash up our garlic. Again, we just wipe that round in the oil, get it on the plancha. Happy days. We'll use that onion later. Anything else? So how are you liking that beet-free life today, Mr. Cornell? Does it reach the camera? Get over here. So we're starting to get a little bit of char on our tomatoes. Again, we don't want to be cooking these through. We're just doing this for a bit of a flavour hit. And again, you would want to ice this down or put it in the fridge before you eat it. And again, that's just purely, you don't want to be a warm salad. It can be, you know, you can go a bit strange that way if you want. Okay, so we'll leave them frying away and we'll start setting up our next excitement. Little blender. Can I get some yogurt, please? I've done this deliberately just to keep her back and forth so she's not drinking gin. Going to take an avocado. You've got milk as well.
Milk. Milk.
We're going to take our avocado. Put our avocado into our blender. Just make sure we're scraping all that off. Sorry about that, Trace, just keep me off the gin. Don't even need to pop that. Fantastic. So what we're doing here is we're going to make an avocado crema, which is basically a posh guacamole of sorts. Again, in with our avocado, some more lime. Good squish of lime stops your avocado going brown. Just some natural yogurt. One, two, maybe 3 tablespoons of that. Perfect. Let's check on our... See the char I've got on that? That's what we're looking for. We really don't want those to be cooking any longer. We go back to our oil bowl. Put everything else in there. Leave the chilies on for a little bit. Tomatoes can all come off. Again, we don't want to cook these through. Just putting some colour on them. See the colour on that? Nice. There's a wee bit of heat to it, yes. That's fine, so put these over here. It is -3, so 5 minutes over there. Just going to turn our grill down. Fantastic. So, back to our crema. Got our avocado, we've got our yogurt, good pinch of black pepper, some of Karen's kosher salt. We've also got some lime juice in there, and again, go back to those flavours that we've been using a lot of today. Some garlic granules, and tiny little bit of chili pepper. Okay, nothing too much. Perfect. And we are going to take our little hat for a little blender, because it wouldn't be Pirate King Kitchen without something other than me making an annoying noise. And we will blitz this till it is really, really smooth. Okay. One more thing to add in there. I know my wife's going to go nuts because she doesn't like coriander, but we do want some coriander in there. It will be blitzed up and the flavour will be sort of incorporated in. Plus I've got a lovely, lovely green colour. So if you find your mix is a little bit on the thick side, you can take a little bit of milk, a couple of tablespoons there at the most. And you just blitz that down. Okay. Okay, so that's our crema done. You got a shot of that, Keels?
So it's this camera.
Okay, so we've lost the overhead. So on the beverage camera we got a nice shot of the consistency there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What about the kitchen roll? We still got the pip, or is that away as well?
Sorry.
So the joys of doing a live show, guys, you tend to lose cameras from time to time, a little bit of clean up there. Put this over here for later. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our ingredients for our salsa. We're going to attempt to fish our onion out the bottom. So everything in here at the bottom of this, you have your oil, your salt, your pepper, everything that we sort of bathed our vegetables in before we cooked them. So we want to keep all that flavour. I'm just going to pull the skin off this onion. See, knife through it. Again, this will essentially still be a raw onion, so just be mindful of that. So a couple of little slices to the middle. Few slices vertically, and then fine to medium dice on a onion. Flip it over, make yourself a nice flat surface again. Anything that looks as if it's getting out of the way, take it. So that's our onion, our fine to medium dice onion. Again, nothing too fancy, this is all about flavour today. We'll take our garlic, which will get some colour on, and our chilli, maybe about an inch of our chilli. Again, we don't want too much heat here, so we're just going to lay it flat. Move the knife, move your fingers, move the knife, move your fingers, and pull it away. So again, cut into strips. And a nice fine chop. Move that over inside our onion. Again, another nice fine dice on our garlic. Move it over, out of the way. This one still has a paper on it, but it'll just squish out. Give it a bit of a a squish, nice fine slice. Any questions or comments while I'm just saying fine slice over and over again?
No, Tommy just said bucket.
What does he buckle about do?
I think it was the kosher salt.
Oh, the kosher salt, okay. Right. So we've got our garlic and our onions. We're then going to take some of our tomatoes. Take the ones with a good colour on them. So we can see all that flavour that's still in that bowl. So we're just basically going to town on these tomatoes. Nice rustic chop. Just break them down into slices. As you can hear my knife going through there, there's still a good bit of bite in those tomatoes. All we've done is soften the flesh on one side. Put some flavour in there. Once you get them on the board, just knock yourself out. Oh, this calls for the big knife. I think the big knife. So you'll cut up the flesh and it'll start to generate some juice. We want to keep that juice. Just keep bringing everything together. Whereas last week was all about precision, this week is a lot more about flavour. So we will take our bowl that's got our cooking juices, our oils and all that good stuff in there. We're going to make sure we got all our tomatoes in there, plus all that cooking juice and our onions. We're just going to mix that about with our hands, nothing too fancy, and that'll coat everything in those flavours. Okay, we've got a nice visual on that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's pico de mayo, salsa, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to add to that just for freshness another squish of lime. And a little pop of olive oil. So I would also recommend for this that you add some roughly chopped coriander, but as I say, as we're going to be eating this later, Tracy's not a big fan, so we'll just skip that on this particular dish. So we're now starting to get to our main event. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our riblets, remember them from earlier? They've been kind of soaking away in our barbecue marinade. So we're going to pop these in a nice tray on their sides and just drip our marinade. That okay on the shot on that, Keels?
Yep.
Perfect. Just along there so they've got a nice, as that cooks, that'll all cook into our ribs. So got some gas for the oven, couldn't get it lit this morning, it was just too cold. So we're going to take our riblets and I'm going to stick them into an oven. Again, this is cooked corn. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, about 170. A little bit of a clean down here. We're going to crank our gas because it's time to move on to our steak. So while I do that, any questions from our...
Marie Kane said, "Hi Peter, just shoved a kiss sandwich down my throat before work, not as delicious or even as close to what you're cooking."
Well, all counts. So what we do have, these are not chilies, these are little snack peppers. So we're just going to get these on. Still got some oil and stuff from when I tomatoes on there. And again, all I want to do with these is char them. Tastes disgusting, but it looks great in the sexy photos. Kidding. The heat starts to break down the pepper, you get that nice sweetness coming through, and the char just adds to that. So we're just going to get them on to heat. Our steak, our hanger steak, remember we butchered that at the top of the hour. It's been marinating quite happily now. Again, at home, if you've got time to leave that for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, it ain't going to do it any harm, but obviously we have a timeline. So we're going to put that on once we get a sizzle. There we go. The joys of using gas. So you just have to listen to me talk for 5 minutes while that heats up. Again, gas is great. I am a big fan of gas. Induction is sexy, but it beeps. So the gas griddle, I can take this griddle part off, and underneath it there's actually 2 pot rings, so probably be using this a lot more going forward. That's the intention of the channel. We're going to do a kind of podcast, probably weekly, and in that podcast I'll talk about equipment and knives and that kind of thing. There won't be any cooking, just be telling you the type of kit I use and why I use it. I'll also be ranting about things that annoyed me that week, so best of luck with that. So, starting to get a bit of a smoke on there. That heat, because it's gas, direct flame should be almost immediate. Yeah, we can hear that. And again, we don't want this any more than medium. So all our good stuff, our garlic, our coriander, it's all in there, stuck to it. You've oiled the meat, not the pan, so that's another top tip for today. Whenever you're making steak or chicken or that, don't put a load of oil in your pan. Get a bag or a bowl, put what you're going to cook in there, a little bit of oil, salt and pepper, cover it in that, and then take it to the hot pan. That way you'll kind of cut the amount of oil you're putting in your diet. And also, if there's too much liquid, even if it's oil, it's cold oil, you'll end up steaming or boiling the meat. And there's only certain times you want your meat boiling, and this is not one of them, let me tell you. So we've got our little peppers on, let's see how they're doing. Starting to get a little bit of a char on them, which is great news. What I'm also going to do at this point, you'll know that the peppers are starting to cook, we start to see them pop and dance and do little peppery stuff. Now we're going to go over to our halloumi. I'm going to get that on our grill as well. As you'll notice there, again our marinade's all sticking to it, and it's all delicious and stuff. Start flattening down. Right, keep an eye on that bit of halloumi, it's going to be a troublemaker. Getting enough of the cooking surface this week, Mike? Are we? What I'm talking about, Mike, I believe, correct me in the comments, that the Gloria and Lil cookbook managed to get its Kickstarter finished, got all the money they needed, and it's currently being printed in production. I tried to say printed in production all the same word, and it kind of came into production thingy printing. So yeah, good one on that. I'm sure there'll be extra copies available to buy, should you be that inclined. We will do a full review of it on Pirate King Parley. That's our podcast that I was just talking about. Just want to check our meats here. No, still want a bit more colour on that.
No, right on purpose.
No. So it's USB. So we're just working out which cable to unplug here. All good stuff. So we just want to be keeping an eye on our halloumi. Just making sure it's behaving itself. So we are pretty much there. So while this is cooking away, that's got probably another 5 or 6 minutes. Any questions on today's dish? Anything you would like some more information on, or any ideas for future episodes? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we've got a bit of colour, good cook on that, bit of colour on that, nice bit of colour on that, good sizzle as we turn it over. Want to make sure we're getting some colour on our halloumi as well. And again, just keep moving your peppers around so you get a nice char on all sides. So our bread of choice today, or our carb of choice, is a nice little wholemeal tortilla. Again, that comes from Lidl. Possibly Aldi. No, but definitely Lidl. So you're deliberately confusing me now. So we'll take 3 of them out. See, we're starting to get some really nice colour on our halloumi. We'll pull that in a little minute. So, while we're waiting on that cooking, Trump's gone. The only president in history to be impeached twice. The impeachment was so good we done it twice. So, do you think Biden's going to do a job, or do you think he's going to take office, have a nap, and then pass over to the Vice President? Because I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think Biden is a long-term option. But I think he was old enough, white enough and friendly enough to get the office, as opposed to being an utter maniac, an utter orange maniac. My wife's telling me not to talk about politics, but yeah, really. Sorry I keep checking this, it's all new kit, so I just want to make sure I'm getting enough heat. So we have some good colour on our, let's call it halloumi, because that's what it is, essentially. Move the stuff about. So for those of you interested, the Pandalorian hoodies are now available on the website. Still a few copies of the book, not many, so get them while they're hot. And we're also doing Pandalorian t-shirts for those of you who don't want to be too cosy. But in this weather that we're having at the moment, I would certainly go for a cosy. So now that I've plugged all the shit, I'm just going to take our halloumi off. Nice little sizzle on our face. Just keep moving it about, let our pan heat up. A little peppers over here. too many wraps. So again, all we're working for here is some colour on our steak. And if you can smell what I'm smelling, you're getting that garlic, the rich beefiness. Because of where that cut meat comes from, it's a good flavoured steak. So the next time you're in your butcher, have a chat to him about hanger steak. You may be surprised. I think we'll maybe take the ribs out now and see how they're, or the corn ribs, see how they're doing. What's that? For yeah. My battery was
31.
right, nearly there. You'll see now, yeah, we are starting to develop some colour on that, which is good. We're just making sure we've got it on all sides. So again, I'm cooking this all on the one surface. I'm constantly checking my gas. So again, from a vegetarian point of view, obviously you guys are not going to be cooking beef at the same time. This is convenience over process. So let's bring our riblets back out. So they're nice and hot. We're going to put them on. Hopefully get some colour on them just to finish them off. Just moving them about in our marinade for our roasting mixture. Perfect. Run it room again, do this every week. So I think our beef is one more turn away, then we'll take it off and let it rest. While we're doing that, we can start to plate up our tacos. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our avocado pressure. We're going to take a nice tablespoon right in the middle of our wholemeal for our taco. Spread it about a little bit. Perfect. We are then going to take our halloumi for these ones. I like that side better. And he goes down onto our presentation area. We are starting to get a little bit of caramelisation on our riblets, which is all good. Same on our peppers. The peppers are starting to soften and break down, which is what we're looking for. We will put our in preparation for our steak taco. Put that over there. Right, so what I'm going to do here, take a small plate, which I prepared earlier. And I'm just going to let our beef or our hanger steak rest. I'm going to bring our corn ribs over here. Start stacking them up on the plate. A couple of our little blanched peppers. I really need to give this a couple of minutes to rest, because as soon as I cut through this, all the juice is going to pour out. So we will finish off garnishing our other taco. So that's our roasted tomato salsa. Black pepper, some of Carne's kosher salt, some salt on our corn as well. I'm just reminding my wife, you need photographs before you go super nom. So we're going to take one bit of our steak. This is probably going to leak out lots of juices. So again, what you want to do is you want to find the grain on a piece of meat. So muscles run like that. You want to cut across the muscle, it'll be a softer mouth experience. So again, just cut across it. Beautiful medium rare. Which also goes on to our taco. Treat ourselves as Saturday, which also goes on to our taco. Turn off all that stuff. As soon as I remember where I put the salsa, I'll put some of it on that as well. I put it over there in the official salsa holding place. Again, a little bit of salsa, make sure you're getting a little bit of... First off, make sure you're getting it on the actual dish. Second thing to focus on is, so for the purposes of presentation, which my wife will whip off as soon as we go off here, a bit of fresh coriander, and salt and pepper. So we got a good shot on that.
Yep.
So that bad boy is our tacos two-way with halloumi, a pico de verde salsa, hanger steak, carne asada with a salsa, some corn ribs, and some grilled peppers, grilled sweet peppers. Okay, so I'm going to let the crew do their job, take some sexy photographs, and then we'll talk to you lovely people. So can we go to the main cam? So again, thanks for all your views and all your input last week. We hit 20,000 views last week's episode, so thank you so much for that. It means a lot that you guys are watching it and telling your friends. I know I'm going to become a broken record. Please do the same if you've enjoyed this video. If you've learned anything, click the little like down at the bottom. If you think there's somebody you know, a friend, one of your family that would enjoy watching this or would learn something from this, share it with one person. If you want to share it with your entire timeline, thank you so much. But again, just asking one person. Hoodies, t-shirts. We're going to start putting stuff in the shop. As I said before, I have no aspiration of retiring on my YouTube money or my Facebook money. This is just to keep the channel going. It pays for kit, pays for ingredients. If you want to go over there, you can buy me a rum. You go to the shop. You go in there, you don't have to buy a t-shirt or hoodie. You can drop a couple of quid for, you may maybe a couple of quid to buy me a coffee, but everybody knows I don't drink coffee, I drink rum. Drop me a couple of quid for rum, again that all goes into keeping this going. If you don't, that's fine as well. Rock up every Saturday, watch the show, hope you've enjoyed it. Drop a comment below if there's something you'd particularly like to see me do next week. As far as cooking, there'll be no nudity, no full frontal, not unless it's tasteful and the narrative really needs it to drive it forward. Didn't get a chance to talk about WandaVision this week. Oh, WandaVision. Wife hates it, me and Kaylee love it. Talk about that next week. So this has been tacos. Vegetarian and carnivore and a little side of corn ribs.
I've got a couple of comments.
So a couple of comments, so we'll finish these off and we'll see what happens next.
Leslie said want.
Okay.
Alison said Leslie Bathgate Rankin, me too, looks flipping delicious. Mark says looks fantastic. Can Point said absolutely fab. Peter, we'll be having a look at the shop, stay safe and hopefully we can get a get together soon. Leslie says I'm away to make carrot cake now, great show as always, love yous. Karen said I'd love to see some Thai.
A little bit more formal.
And Alison
suit,
said
waistcoat.
oh how no.
Oh how no?
Oh how no.
How no what?
I don't know. Question mark?
Should be on gin early.
I don't know.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we need to put on to automatic audio.
Yep.
We've worked out how to give you the sexy music and hit my music.
Hear my belly rumble, something more than bread. A nice big steak and fries to go. Listen to what I said. I need something more than soup to keep me satisfied.